And here we go. York Sports Network, AJ Swatek, Bobby Hessling on the call. We're in store for a good one here. Got some girls varsity basketball action. Storyline for this one, Downers Grove North Trojans do not have a single senior on a varsity lineup. I mean, that will be something to watch, certainly.
It's real interesting, and Downers Grove North, a good team. They are in a game where it's a makeup game, matter of fact. This game was postponed due to COVID issues on Downers Grove North side. But I think we're in store for a real good game. The girls on Saturday, they won 2 games, and they won by 40 in that second one in the West Suburban Conference Tournament. They move on and play next Saturday.
And, you know, much of that win is due to sophomore Marion Blass, so don't count out these underclassmen for the Trojans. I mean, we've seen what the underclassmen have done for the York Dukes for years now since we've entered this Dick Campbell gym. So, I mean, don't count out the Trojans. Anything could happen.
Right.
It's March, a little madness action. So
the other thing with Marion Blass is she had 21 in that win. Sydney Mullis had 18.
And a very familiar starting lineup for the Dukes out there. See, it looks like it'll be Juneman, Jomi, Blass, Molis, and Rufus. Looks like they're giving both teams a little time to draw up the game plans, getting everything COVID ready. Here we go. The huddles are broken. The game should be getting underway.
Just 2 minutes. Well, working on 3 minutes into delayed start time.
Of course, no jump balls due to COVID. It looks like Duke's lining up to play defense. Visitors typically start with the ball. The trend will stay. Trojans start with the basketball here. It's impossible to see their numbers. And here come the Trojans. Right off the bat.
Clock had it started.
Perfect time to rub off a little rust. They got the possession error going the right way now. They should be ready to run the clock. And there it goes.
Go.
Violet Mitchell with the ball. Gives it up. She wanted that contested three-pointer. Didn't put it up. Great perimeter defense as always from this Dukes team. That's Sydney Mullis out there. See Juneman on the outside playing defense. Not where the Dukes want her. They need her to get those defensive boards. It's been a problem for them this season. She gets right back to the inside. Good ball movement here from the Trojans, getting 30 seconds off the shot clock, but only generating a tipped look. Duke's rebound, and it will be Rufus pushing the pressure the other way.
New York did a real good job on defense, and that was a slow possession by the Trojans.
That was Kajomi.
Try to watch it in the hands of Mullis or Blass.
Blass gets it to Mullis. Right back to Jomi. Good ball movement from both teams. Very patient York Dukes team waiting for a good shot. It doesn't come. Mullis throws it a little behind Marion Blass, and that results in Trojans basketball. You see head coach Brandon Collins not happy with the pass.
I think he's more frustrated that he thought that had gone off a Downers North player.
Man, I mean, it's hard to tell from up here, but I definitely think that was off of Duke, whether it be the bad pass from Mullis or Blass touching it.
Yeah, it looked like it had rolled off her leg or her shoe.
That's all the way inside. That's a driving layup. Too high off the glass. Going the other way. Kajomi gives it to Mullis. Mullis wants that contested three and takes it. Barely off the iron there.
Mullis this season has developed into a really good 3-level scorer.
Now you see Trojans coach trying to opt for them to slow it down. It doesn't work. It's Blass going the other way. Bounce pass to Rufus. Rufus has got to get that shot off. No need to go for an extra pass when you're already in the air. But a great offensive recovery as they find Blass in the corner. Blass inside. That's a fading contested mid-range jumper. Not the look you want. Rufus always aggressive by the rim. Not a good look. And that's a 3-ball.
Yeah, that was a good shot by Blass. Corner 3, too. She can shoot contestants. She can shoot wide open. That was a great take.
That it was. I mean, when you give up that many offensive rebounds, something's bound to happen. Certainly something to fix for the Trojans. As for the Dukes, great job on the offensive glass. Been great at that all season. Blass resulted in a Blass three-pointer. Looks like that's a foul call, whether it be on Juniman or Blass. It will be against the Dukes, and it is against Marion Blass. And that steal from Blass. Dukes don't like to score in transition. They like to slow it down after that, set into the offense that has worked so well.
That makes sense. You just set up the offense, go from there. Either get into the hands of Blass or Mullis. You don't want that. You don't want a turnover.
Absolutely not. It's Mitchell giving it up, finds the open Trojan for three. Right back outside, trying to drive in.
Collins wasn't happy that they didn't grab that offensive rebound. Can't blame them for that. They had a great chance to grab that. Lucky that that was a
defensive rebound rather, but absolutely, that's a rebound they have to come down with. That's been the storyline for this Dukes team all year. Great on the offensive glass, struggle on the defensive glass. Nonetheless, we have seen 3 minutes and 10 seconds of basketball, only 3 points to show for it. Very interesting thus far. We saw the three-pointer from Blass. Other than that, both teams very quiet on the offensive end.
Yeah, neither team has shot a whole lot either. I believe York only has got 2 field goal attempts and 1 went in. Downers North, they try to get it inside. They have had nothing going. But I think that's how it is. Leiden and York on Saturday at 10. That game started off real quiet. York picked it up. And York is a much better second quarter team and second half team. But right now, they're just trying to set the tone right now. I can't blame them for it.
And, I mean, it's hard to go against a team like the Dukes on defense. I mean, obviously, it's stereotypical, but you look at the height out there. I mean, there's almost a differential at every position.
Exactly.
Smallest girl out there, Marion Blass, still a tall 5'8".
Yeah.
She's only a sophomore.
That's unbelievable. And the fact that you have 3 6-foot seniors out there, you would think that's almost
when you have a 6-foot player playing like a mesh of small forward and guard, you know something's going right. Mullis out there from the wing. And it's worked for the Dukes so far.
Yeah, it has.
Coming out of the timeout, it looks like it'll be more of the same for the Trojans. You see Kate Gross out there. So, Violet Mitchell. Mullis on the wing. Gets it back to Rufus. Rufus, she wants it. No, that was a good move from Rufus. Couldn't get it to go, but a great rebound from Blass. Duke so active on that offensive glass. Got it! Blass creating her own shots, and she is something special.
You grab the offensive rebound and you work all the way back out to the perimeter on a step back. That's a great shot by Marion Blass.
And you see Collins loves to do this. Right after they score, apply the pressure on the press. Don't give them anything easy.
Almost was an open three. That's... Ooh. Thought that was off a Trojan from up here. That's what it looked like. It's hard to tell these Downers North numbers apart.
It is near impossible. I'm trying from up here.
Dark purple.
Bear with us. These jerseys are, one of the darkest shades of purple possible on black. From up here, near impossible, especially with the hair on the back of the jersey.
Yeah, there's a white outlining, but you can barely see that white outlining.
Oh, man. I mean, from up here, it is rough. Luckily, we know the Dukes by heart. And here comes Jomi.
Most wanted to skip to her.
You could tell this game, Rufus sees something she likes. She is attacking that offensive rim. I mean, she has done that 3 times now in just the first half of this first quarter.
Yeah, she's done a good job trying to work inside. It's her second time going in, and she's tried a Euro step once. Mullis wanted it skipped to her. I think they'll try to get back into her hands.
Oh, great no-look pass from Mullis. That's as easy as it gets. I mean, when you have a great setup pass like that from Mullis, can't ask for a much easier shot from Juniman.
Yeah, I think Downers North is, another York basket and stop. Downers North is going to need a timeout. You don't want to start off down 8-0.
Oh, and they should have taken the timeout. This is going to be the easiest look you see for Blass, and Blass not one to miss that. That was a great transition play from Blass. It really was.
That was a near turnover, a risky pass by those Trojans.
They get it across the half-court line. Now it's just time to see if they could even get a shot off. All the way inside. That's a good pass, but it's stolen. Blass the other way. She's looking to apply the pressure. One-on-one action. Euro step. Marion Blass can't get it to go. That's great transition defense. Not even drawing a foul there for Blass.
It's kickball.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. Intentionally put the foot out there. You see Emma Kluth now coming into the game for Megan Juneman. Juneman gets a breather.
So shocked me that Downers North hasn't called a timeout yet.
Now it's the Trojans. Coming into the game now, Lizzie Baldridge, another sophomore. Only 2 sophomores on this team play pretty consistently. I mean, obviously, Blass consistently in that starting lineup. You see Lizzie act as a 6th man. I mean, in this case, a 7th man, but she has played quite a lot.
Yeah, and she's trying to develop into a 3-level scorer the same way Melissa is. Doesn't have the same height, but trying to become that 2-way player.
I mean, only a sophomore, height still likely to come. Just as you say it, Mullis gets the rebound. Because it's a Kluth. Kluth inside. That's stuffed. Tries to throw it off a Trojan defender, and she caught it out of bounds. You're going to have to bear with us here, YSN viewers. I mean, as Bobby already stated, it is just near impossible to tell.
Some of these numbers.
The only visible one from up here is Violet Mitchell, number 12, so we'll be saying that name plenty, but otherwise, our guess is as good as yours for this roster. That's a great trap in the corner. Rufus draws the jump ball. Possession arrow points. Oh, the refs are pointing different directions with the ball.
It's going down with York.
No, it's Trojans basketball.
That's
The arrow points to the Trojans. The refs point to the Dukes. And it defaults to the arrow, obviously. So, Trojans basketball.
I thought that was... Is it York ball?
No.
There's confusion. Now it is.
Oh, wow.
I was going off the arrow on the scoreboard. The arrow down on the floor.
Both refs had a different call. The scoreboard had a different call, and the actual possession arrow guy had a different call. That's what happens when you don't do a jump ball to start the game. Confusion with the possession arrow, but it does lead to York Dukes basketball. Oh, Blass has an open moving 3. That's a moving base. Blass just can't miss tonight.
You would assume, get a timeout right now. You would assume that.
Coach does take a step up, maybe looking to get a timeout.
And York is still playing great.
You can see him hesitating, but he didn't do it. Duke's leaving open. Oh, that's a great skip pass. That's the most open look they've had all night. Just couldn't get it to go. Duke's looking to extend on this 13-point lead.
You don't want, if you're Downers North, you don't want to.
Oh, that is just, I mean,
you don't want that. You don't want that. That's.
I'll tell you what, Marion Blass, only a sophomore, she is certainly playing like a senior tonight.
Oh my goodness,
I mean,
you're absolutely
you would
right
not
about
be
that.
able to tell
Got 11
whatsoever.
That was a great pass too.
She has all but carried this Duke's team to this 15-point lead. I mean, obviously it's a team effort, but you've seen her steal in transition. You've seen her grab defensive and offensive boards.
Yeah.
You've seen her knock down the threes, throw the good passes. Marion Blass has done it all.
She has done it all. And that's just absolutely phenomenal work by her. You know, she earned that starting spot, and for good reason, too. And what I've been saying was Downers Grove North, they needed the timeout, and I think this is too late.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I understand you want to save them. I'm all for that, but, you know, there is a time and place to call the timeout at the right time, and that was this time and place.
There we go. I'm now able to tell you who Kyla Wilkerson is. First glance to number 40 in there. Hopefully, as the game goes on, we'll be able to see more of who's who.
More numbers.
So now have an eye on Violet Mitchell and Kyla Wilkerson for the Trojans. This is interesting for the Trojans. I mean, definitely drew up something to beat that press, but still a little unorthodox seeing someone of Wilkerson's size out there trying to beat the press. She's been playing the 5 all night, and that's her with it beyond the 3-point line.
York almost forced that turnover, too. Coach Collins, he likes to pride his teams off defense. And Rufus has almost had a few steals with under a minute to go.
Oh, certainly worked to their advantage thus far. I mean, shutting out a team for 7 minutes straight. Nothing to scoff at, and that's another steal by Lizzie Baldridge. See this Duke's bench getting into it. We might see some unorthodox girls getting some playing time. Blass wanted it. Opts to dribble. Inside. This is to Baldridge. Would have been a deep 2, and that's a double dribble. Collins correcting the sophomore on the mistake there. Had an open Evan Kluth in the corner. Now it's the Trojans trying to get anything on the board, show that they even showed up for this first quarter. Wilkerson on the outside. Hit it inside, trying to work against Amanda Rufus. I mean, that is a great contested look. Through 2 Duke defenders. Trojans get it done.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have held for the final shot. Looks like that's what York's going to do.
No, Marion Blass has the hot hand, and she shoots it. Marion Blass up to 14 on the day. I mean, there's no fans here, but it's loud. This York Dukes bench erupting. 18-2 at the end of the first quarter. That is spectacular.
Blass has 14 of those. That was an unbelievable shot. Unbelievable.
And you know, typically it's unreal to see a player outscoring the entirety of another team, but outscoring the other team by 12. I don't know that we've seen that thus far at YSN in the first quarter.
And that's just not that's not just Marion Blass. That's a combination of York's really solid defense. They've done a good job applying the pressure at half court and even the full court press too, but forcing the turnovers, forcing the bad looks. That's what York has done really well this season. They did that really well on Saturday versus Downers South, and they just continue to do that in Blass's head. Like you said, the hot hand, she's got 4 threes.
And you know, if you're the Trojans down by 16, certainly down and not out, there's still 3 quarters to go. I mean, what do they have to do here? I mean, we've seen them struggle on the offensive end. How can they get it going?
You can't just say, well, shoot better. That's not a good answer. They have to find the open look better and take the shots that are open, or they got to get it. They need someone to become a shot creator like Marion Blass has.
Just got looks like it'll be Kate Gross signing back in for the Trojans. There's also Margaret Fleming out there. All of a sudden, it's a little easier to see these numbers because they're by the bench for a second. Looks like that's Eleanor Harris out there as well. Trojans trying to get it past the half court. Dukes won't even apply pressure here. Dukes defense continuing to apply the pressure. No reason to take the foot off the gas pedal. It's Mitchell working against Rufus. Careless pass. Bobbled and recovered by the Trojans.
Well, Mola stuck her hand out there trying to force a turnover. I think she knew she wouldn't get her hand on the ball, but regardless, still a near turnover.
They force a reset of the offense already 30 seconds into this possession, and that's exactly what the Dukes are so good at doing. You don't even have to be the one to steal it. They're just applying pressure on these girls, making it hard to breathe.
Just took out the camera. That is, that's not good.
Now it's Lizzie Baldridge all the way inside.
I thought that was blocked at first. Great offensive rebound.
Might have been a no-look feed. The Dukes love to do that on the drives, and Juneman always ready to catch it. She was prepared for that one. The Dukes with the double screen. Had Rufus, didn't hit her. It was a sloppy pass to Juneman, and it forces a jump ball. It will stay Dukes basketball. And this has really been the story for these Dukes all year. I know you said that they're a great second half team, and there's no doubt about that, but they're just a great all-around team. We've seen them blow teams out of the water. Yeah,
and they had a bad loss last Friday versus Lyons Township. There's a great feed.
Oh yeah, that bounce pass, textbook. Perfectly placed through 3 Trojan defenders. Dukes now on top by 18. 14 of those 20 points came from sophomore Marion Blass. She has had the hot hand. Just got a word from our producer. We're having a camera issue. Something happened to one of the cables.
Stepped on.
Should be back okay soon. He just said to tell the teacher it's the most expensive cable we have. No, it's a very cheap cable. Don't worry, Mr. Chambers. And that's a steal by Rufus.
Another bad turnover.
They just can't get anything going on the offensive end. She had the open girl, but Rufus loves to score on those contested layups, does it again. Duke's now up by 20 points.
They did a good job forcing the turnovers, double teaming. Downers North has found no looks whatsoever. Most got a little too aggressive on that one.
You know, this is great news for Dukes that don't often get in the game this early. You see Sophie Chauvin getting into the game, senior guard. We haven't seen much of her.
Schoenfeld was hurt to start the year, has worked her way back into this starting lineup. She had a deep three on Saturday.
Oh, great block by Molis. Got to think a lot of this energy is coming from the bench. Just getting the girls excited in there. Open Schoenfeld in the corner. The rush shows. Rush shows there. Collings told her to shoot. She still passed it off. Trojans basketball down by 20. I was not expecting to say that, I'll tell you that. Trojans down by 20, especially this early.
Only just under, or just about 10 minutes into this game.
I mean, the Trojans just can't buy a shot right now. They can't even get shots up. Seems like no one wants to be the hero. Now it's Gross with it. Gross toying with a delay of game there. Mitchell, stolen by Juneman yet again. And Molis just wants it more. Speeds past him, too hard off the glass. Trojans going the other way. They're able to beat the press early. That's exactly what their coach wanted to see in that timeout. That's a great...
Stella Cole, freshman, making that play.
The underclassmen on this team have just been electric, and that's a deep ball for the senior. Can't get it. Passed up on the open look earlier. Collings reiterated to her to shoot the ball. She does that right just there.
Yeah, Schoenfeld thought she had that shot down.
Foul on the floor comes against Lizzie Baldridge. Followed by a 90-second timeout. York Dukes on top, 22-2. This one hasn't been remotely close. Trojans looking to fight their way back into this one. We'll see if they're able to do it. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. We'll be right back after this break. We're back. 4:11 to go in the second quarter. If you're just tuning in, it has been all Dukes and more specifically all Marion Blass. 14 on the day. Dukes on top by 20.
You're back in the game. 4 threes, too. I don't think she's missed one.
Successful inbound. You know, at this point, when that's a triumph for the Trojans, you know something's gone wrong. We mentioned earlier, no seniors. Certainly showed the underclassmen have had a hard time breaking this York Dukes pressure. Nearly another turnover.
Yeah, they thought they had a catch and shoot opportunity. Tried that left-handed skyhook, couldn't get anything going. You'd hate to go into the break with only single digits.
Let alone 2 points.
Yeah.
And that was not a demanding 2 points either. It was almost luckily a shot through two defenders. Now it's Blass. You could tell she's feeling it. She does not normally do this many dribbles, and she certainly can. I mean, she's looked good. And that's Borchers. Top of the key, can't get it. You know, in a situation down by 20, it does not seem like the Trojans are in any kind of rush here.
No, and you would assume you can't just rely on good defense. You need the good offense, too, to follow. That was a great pass.
I hate to say it, but it's not like the defense has been great either. Rufus on the bench. You see Borchers running the floor. Coach Collins will be looking to her next season. That's Blass for 3. She is on fire.
That's 5.
5 for 5, Marion Blass. You know, this is the second coming of Macy O.T. Yesterday shot 10 for 12 from beyond the arc. At the collegiate level, Marion Blass coming for the title. Jump ball forced by the Dukes. Possession arrow points their direction. And that's the first time all day that we've really heard anything from the bench of Downers Grove North. Coach trying to get something going.
Right, yeah.
Just not applying pressure on the offensive or defensive end.
Got discussion at the scores table.
Once again, the scores table. There you go. Once again, the scores table mistakes the possession arrow there. Very honest from Brandon Collins. He actually was the one to point it out. We got the last possession arrow. This should be Downers Grove North basketball, and it is. It's the third time we've seen an error from the scores table today.
Almost didn't have an inbounder.
They do successfully inbound into the corner.
A near turnover.
They're playing scared. I mean, this York defense certainly scary, but Trojans really have to fight it off, do something to show that they have any form of life in this one. That might have been a travel. Got away with one there. Doesn't matter, threw it high off the backboard. Dukes basketball, King going the other way. Baldridge now, is it to Blass? Blass finds the open girl in the middle. I mean, Blass is just having to do it all day. Maybe triple-double bound tonight for the 5'8"
Yeah, I don't know
sophomore.
how many rebounds she has, but she's gotten the assists, and she has 17 of the 27 for York.
I mean, even a double-double sophomore on varsity. I mean, even what we've seen from her so far in this first half would be remarkable in a full game. And that's Baldridge the other way. Baldridge, too easy. The Dukes just wanted more on top by 25
yep.
over the
Baldridge
Trojans.
quick down the floor after forcing the turnover. Did it all by herself. That's what you want to see out of the sophomore. Great hustle. That's all ball.
You know, that is just textbook basketball by the Dukes. And on the other hand, that was just poor play from the Trojans. They had an open shot in the corner, instead opted to get stuffed on the inside. You do not want to mess with Juneman and Kajomi.
Drive inside, you're going to have Schoenfeld. Oh, that's not the pass they wanted.
But as the rest of the game is gone, it took a York Dukes bounce. That's a good defensive play. Nearly didn't hustle hard enough to get the rebound, but they did. Trojans the other way, 34 seconds. Typically a team would hold for the last shot here, but not when you're down by 25. Steal, Dukes the other way. No need to rush. No shot clock they could hold for the final shot here if they do choose to do so. But Blass and Baldridge look like they want to score now, and they find the open Schoenfeld. I don't know how to say that name.
Schoenfeld.
Schoenfeld. Spelled with a V, so a little confusing. That's a half-court shot. No.
Off the backboard.
Dukes 29, Trojans a mere 4. I mean, it's been all Dukes. There's no doubt about that. But there's still half of a ball game to play. We've seen it at the boys level. The Dukes have certainly let teams get back into contests. And if the Trojans want to get back within striking distance, what does the coach have to draw up here at this 10-minute halftime period?
Frankly, I don't know. I don't know where to begin with this one. You know, they have not played great. They've tried to find the open looks. However, it hasn't worked for the most part, while with York, they're getting everything.
You know, if you don't know, I'll generate an idea for thought. Clearly, they can't even get the shots up.
That's the other thing.
The coach has to draw some form of offense to beat this Duke's defense. I mean, we've seen them switch a bit between man-to-man and zone, but this isn't the most exotic thing we've ever seen. I mean,
no, not at all.
the Dukes have just hustled harder. And as for a means of scoring, we haven't even seen Kyla Wilkerson put up a shot yet. I mean, she's a big body in the middle. We've got to see, get to the charity stripe at least, get some free throws. They're called free for a reason. Anyways, 9 minutes to go in this halftime period. Dukes 29, Trojans 4. It's been a massacre at the hands of Marion Blass. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. We'll be right back after this halftime break.
Start of the second half coming up right now. We've had a very lopsided game, only 4 points, and Downers Grove North averaging 2 a quarter. Not what we want to see. We're going to turn it over to AJ, and he will do the rest of this game in terms of play-by-play.
That is correct. Second half just underway. For a second there, I thought Bobby was just
No.
leaving the booth. I was like, that was abrupt. Then he gave me the look like, I'm not leaving, don't worry. He brought out his car keys and said, we're turning over to AJ for the rest of the game. I was like,
it's over. We're out.
That is interesting. But looking forward to the future. I mean, the Duke's athletics programs have been great this year.
They have been.
To speak of likely the best this year, the lacrosse team. First game, I believe, on the 21st, will be on the call. We'll be live on York Sports Network.
We're not sure about that one yet because that
it's
might
away,
be that
correct.
might yeah.
But every home game,
yes,
we'll do as many as we can.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a special team, a very special team. Blast to Rufus. Duke's looking to continue that momentum they had going into the 10-minute stoppage, and it continues. I mean, that was
a nice move.
That's just Jomi wanted it more.
Well, the interesting thing is, I believe that's Mullis, who doesn't have a point yet. I might be looking at the wrong number. That could be okay, but I think I am looking at the wrong number. No, maybe not. I don't know. I can't really see the numbers from over here. We're on a weird angle. Also can't see Downers North's number still. That purple on black.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring that up with the athletic director. That's frustrating, to say the least. So, if you are a parent of one of these girls, I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to hear the name, but this is the first open generated look we've seen in a while. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I've seen this many just perfect York Dukes bounces. Everything is going their way. They throw it off Blass, he gets some backspin, stays in bounds, and it leads to a York Dukes possession. Collings calling for an ISO for Rufus. Rufus hands it off. That was a great feed. That's got to go.
Yeah, Jomi had the open look down low.
We've seen a lot less of those open misses this game. Much better job from the Dukes. It's led to this absolute blowout. And because of that blowout, you see Dukes you don't normally see get in. You see Aaron Powers in there.
Yeah, Powers, one of the juniors who's gotten a few more minutes as the season is going on.
It's crazy to see. I mean, you see a freshman, 2 sophomores, plenty of seniors, not many juniors getting any playing time. It'll be interesting for next season, to say the least. You see Blass, you'll see Baldridge. Liz King also gets some playing time, junior. But Powers looking to build on what she's done. As you said, she does get some playing time. Luckily for the Dukes, even if none of those juniors play next year, they have Marion Blass, and she has put on a show tonight. That's Dukes basketball.
All ball on the way up. I believe from Powers.
Rufus back to the game, will run the point. Rufus nearly lost it. Finds Blass. Blass, contested shot. She's feeling it. Doesn't go that time. Can't blame her. I mean, dare I say this DGN Trojans team is just playing slow. I mean, down by 27. We see no rush from the Trojans. They finally get a look, and that's an and-one bucket. That's a huge make. They needed that desperately. They want any chance of getting back into this one. Already half of the third quarter commenced. They were getting close to running clock territory. And timeout. Only a 30-second timeout. Duke's on top by 25. It was about to get to running clock territory, but we saw that awesome and one basket. by sadly no name because it's hard to see the jersey numbers from up here. But
Right.
great look. Duke's on top by 25. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. We'll be right back after this timeout. Looking to complete the three-point play. Desperately need this from the charity stripe. Off the back iron, nearly an offensive board.
It's a tough bounce.
More of the same for the Dukes. Powers gets it to Rufus on the outside. Rufus calling for a screen. Continuing to run the ISO this game. Hasn't had too many points off of it, but it has generated some open looks. Jomi. DeCluth. It's a bit of an unorthodox lineup. We definitely do not see this group in together too often. You see Cluth and Powers out there. It works out. Rufus able to drive in.
Nice move with the right hand by Rufus. We're going to see a full substitution for York.
I was expecting to see more of the players that we haven't seen so far, but it's just more players who've already been in. It'll be Baldridge, Juneman. I don't want to.
Schoenfeld.
Yeah, I don't want to botch that name again. I'm sorry. Number 20 of the Dukes.
Sophie Schoenfeld. Yeah, full. Yeah, you saw everyone stand up, go to the score set. We don't see that too often.
When you're up by 27, you do what you want. And Coach Cowling says just that.
And you still put in 2 of your starters.
Once again, DGN just showing no rush to score here, down by 27. 3 points away from the running clock territory. Not an area you ever want to be in, of course.
Not at all. The fact that you don't even have double digits yet, that's also a spot you don't want to be in. On the positive side, they've done a real good job. It's been a clean game for them.
And that
Only
was a
0
nice
fouls in this second half.
No, you could call that a positive or a negative. Most of the time, you consider that a positive, and I agree with you. In this one, I would almost argue that's a negative. They just haven't shown much fight. I mean, most of the time, staying clean on the fouls is great, but it seems every 50-50 ball, the Dukes just want it more, come down with it, and go the other way.
Right, yeah, absolutely. They're just much more aggressive. They've hustled a lot harder than DGN too.
No doubt about that, and that's why the Dukes are now on top by 25. That's a 3-ball. Haven't seen much of those get off the mark. That's an offensive rebound. Haven't seen much of those either, and it works. Just like that, DGN's in double digits, down by 23. Baldridge to Molis. Baldridge wide open 3-ball. Man, that did not have much of an arc on it, but it found a way to perfectly hit nothing but nylon. Extend the Dukes lead right back to 26. Fleming in the corner.
York's played a really good 2-3 defense with Juneman coming up out of the paint.
You know, a large reason that's worked is because we have not seen DGN try to score inside at all. They love their deep twos, and I mean, statistically, that's the least efficient shot. Definitely one of the many reasons they're currently sitting down 26 with just over 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. That's contested and in. Sophie Schoenfeld gets it to go. I think I said it right that time. One more point in his running clock territory. Duke's up by 29. And as you said, I mean, so much to blame for this going down. I mean, a lot of it credited to the Dukes. Great defense, as we'll see Trojan go to the line to shoot too. But great defense, great offense, great transition. But I think that something that is an underlying factor here that you absolutely hit on at the start, the opt to not use the timeout early, let the Dukes get up 15-0 early in this one. That's
right.
a good free throw.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I mentioned that at the start, and that's not how you're going to want to play. You want to settle them back in. You go down 15.
Just kept letting the tears pour in.
You make it look like it's almost impossible to come back.
Never say die. Anything is possible. I guess the shooter's bounce makes them both. Ryan Wendt picking up her 4th point on the night. Nearly stolen, but a good recovery by Baldridge. Mullis looks to Juniman. Juniman through the contest. No. Juniman, great offensive rebound. Gets it ripped from her. DGN going the other way. DGN showing a bit of life at the end of this 3rd quarter.
Might be a little too late. Jump ball.
Jump ball will stay with the Downers Grove North Trojans. No doubt about that one this time. We've seen a couple instances of confusion with the possession arrow, but not this time. Just under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter. DGN down by 27 with the basketball. Oh, great. That's great court vision to find the open girl. Can't get it, but she finds another open Trojan. That's an air ball. Dukes going the other way. Inside to Mullis. Mullis in no rush, resets the offense. Stella Cole, that's not a name we've called on much tonight. Blocked on the way off, it'll be Dukes basketball.
I think York is going to look to get to this 4th quarter with the running clock.
Schoenfeld, that's an air ball. Juniman, great save. Juniman, the acrobatic saves it, and one for Sydney Mullis. That was quite the turn on the offensive end. Wish you could see Bobby's eyes right now. He is in shock. I haven't seen the eyes that wide in a while.
That was a Euro step on top of the
That was just quite interesting. We see the save from
glass.
Juniman. Mullis looking to get to running clock territory, and she does.
Running clock starts in that 4th quarter, so 20 seconds away from that.
Wow. I mean, that was remarkable.
That was great court vision by Junman to save that. I don't think she knew that Mullis was back there.
No, I mean, that really reminded me, All-Star game last night, NBA, of course. Nikola Jokic, he does that kind of thing all the time. Only a second left. Borchers throws up another laser. Not too much arc on her shots, but they've gone down. Duke's on top by 30. We will have a running clock in place in this 4th quarter. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. AJ Swiatek, Bobby Hessling, right back after this 3rd to 4th quarter intermission. fourth quarter's underway. Should be a running clock in place here. Duke's up by 30. It's Emma Kluth with it. Kluth only 5'3", and it shows, but she does not play small. Very aggressive on the offensive and defensive end, and that's Powers with a fading shot from the charity stripe. Can't get it to go. There's the team with the unreadable jerseys, the Downers Grove North Trojans, going the other way. Had an open girl at the wing, couldn't find her. Leads to another offensive reset. They have done that so often. The Dukes just really giving up no easy looks.
They have not, and they're running that. With occasionally 2-3-2.
That's a great shot. Up and in by Kendall Hennelly.
Or 2-3, pardon me, not a 2-3-2. A 2-3, and then they've merged into the 2-1-2.
It's part of what makes high school basketball and college basketball so much more fun. You get to run the zone defense. We don't see that at all in the NBA. There's actually a ban on it. WNBA not aware of the rule, and that's a great inside pass. Who's out there?
Emma Wheatland.
Yeah. As expected, seeing some unorthodox players in the game for the Dukes. No reason not to here, up by 28. Kluth at the rip.
Who thought her foot was out of bounds?
You know, the entire Trojans bench just looks glum. Not too many positives to take away from this one, but if there are any, they definitely have done a better job in the second half of at least generating the open looks, whether that be Dukes putting in backups or them just finding it and putting it all together.
Yeah, they played with fight here in the second half.
Oh, that's a contested three. Why not, Liz King? Couldn't get it to go, however. 5:30 to go in this fourth quarter. Duke's up by a massive 26. DGN, obviously in this one, I mean, barring a miracle, likely not walking away with a W, but we've seen it at all levels of the sport.
Right.
Do you continue to just play into this and try to get momentum going into the next game?
Yeah, of course you do. That's what you're going to do for both sides. In York, they have Columbard West tomorrow evening. Downers North, don't know who they play. You try to keep as much momentum as you can, and York's going to have a lot of momentum going into tomorrow night's game. However, the question will be, are they tired? Columbard West has had at least 2 days off. York is going to be playing off 24 hours short rest.
Well, that's why it's nice for the Dukes to have such a deep bench. You get players into the game right now like Emma Wheatland, like Aaron Powers, and let players like Marion Blass rest the legs for tomorrow's big game against Glenbard West Hilltoppers. That's a full timeout charge to the Downers Grove North Trojans, down by 26. Likely bring up the question that I was looking to ask you. Looking to extend the momentum, or, I mean, at some point, it does get more draining to continue to play into this defense than to not. And we've seen it at not only the NBA level, but you see it at all levels of the game. Like, oftentimes when teams are down this much, you let the bench players get in, just let the starters let that mental health recover after a loss like this. What do you do if you're the Downers Grove North coach?
Just say play with fight at this point with 4:32 left. That's all you have to do. Try to find, some of the players like you mentioned who don't play. Maybe you put your starters back out there just for a short break, but it's just play with fight down the stretch. Try to go into the next game knowing, okay, this is what we have to do better on in terms of what they'll do tomorrow, and then to wrap up the season on Friday and Saturday. But York has just executed every possible way to be better than this Downers team.
Absolutely. Duke's on top by 26. York Sports Network will be right back after a very short break. We're back. You know, this is the kind of time where if fans were here, you'd hear them getting excited. Players getting into the game for the first time in quite a while. Gianna Leonardo out there. Emma Wheatland. That's Aaron Powers for three. But certainly, if there's fans right now, it would be electric in here. Lucky to even have the game being played, and it's certainly gone in the Duke's favor in this one and in many of their games this season, coming out on top.
Yeah, they've had a big home court advantage and near turnover again for Downers North.
And you know, if COVID's proved anything, this pandemic has proved anything, sure, the fans make a massive impact. There is no doubting that. But it's really shown that the home court advantage is much more than just fans. You see the home team still coming out on top the majority of the time. It shows how much really goes into the draining of that travel. Gianna takes a three and can't get it, but it shows the advantage of being able to stay on your home floor and not having to travel. Certainly it's helped the Dukes many a times this season, and it's helped their opponents. It's a even playing field, but it definitely helps the home squad, and that's a great mid-range jumper. Obviously too little, too late, but Downers Grove North finally getting some momentum here. Clock continues to run. Looks like Coach Collins tried to call a timeout. They let the clock keep running, and then he said, you know what, we could just keep playing.
No, it was a mistake by the ref down there. He accidentally blew the whistle.
Oh, all right. Because I thought Collins said
Collins thought there was a foul on the floor.
it's a careless pass from Powers, allows Downers Grove North to go the other way, and that's a great contested look. I mean, sure, you're now down by 19 points, but that is they're doing exactly what we said they needed to. With only a few games left in the season, letting the momentum shift in the correct direction. 3 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Timeout charge to Coach Collins, York Sports Network. We'll be right back after this break. And we're back. Duke's on top by 19 with 3 minutes to go, and it will be Duke's basketball. It's time to get players like Emma Wheatland some points. Let's see if they could do it. It's Powers. Trying to go to work, finds the open girl in the corner. That banks off the mark from Sarah Kesserling and allows some transition from, I mean, where has this been all day from Downers Grove North? Sure, that missed, but a lot of it certainly has to do with the Dukes having their backups in, but all of a sudden there's a burst of energy here. Something has woken up here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was a big-time flop, too. I think that's against the NBA's no-flop policy, or anti-flop policy, pardon me. I think she was just trying to draw a charge off that, but it's too little, too late.
Lets it fly. Aaron Powers off the mark yet again. 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Dukes up 42-23 over these Trojans. It's been all Dukes today. Marion Blass started and never stopped. Just continued to hammer in the points. Big reason the Dukes are up by 19. We haven't seen much of her in the second half. No need to. We saw enough from Blass, and she put on a show.
She absolutely has. I think it was 17 she'll finish with.
Takes a crazy bounce there, but.
I thought that was. The shot would have been blown dead since it hit the top of the backboard.
you know, I don't think there was any doubt that Downers Grove didn't have a chance at this point, but it's clear that the free throw shooter agrees because the clock continues to run. She still takes her sweet time on her tradition at the line. Just a minute now to go in this game. Dukes up by 18. You can tell Powers wants to get on the board, continues to press it, gets it to Kesserling, and Kesserling scores, and the starters are excited.
That was a nice right-hand finish, and Kesserling is a senior forward. Doesn't get much playing time, but it's always exciting when the underclassmen or the players who don't get to play that often get points.
Of course, Kesserling, senior, still an upperclassman. Great to see her get in the game. That's a steal by Liz King going the other way. Will the Dukes continue to try to score? It looks like they will. It will stay Dukes basketball after a careless pass from King. Looking to find Leonardo. Fake pass, gets it to Wheatland inside, who turns it over. Clapping it up, that's the game. York Dukes come out on top 44-24. This game was never remotely close. Dukes started off with that 15-0 run, and after that it seemed like it was all but over. Marion Blass, obviously player of the game, put on a complete show. Only a sophomore, certainly looked like an upperclassman. As for the Trojans, didn't have a single senior on the squad. It showed up on the scoreboard. Both these teams only a few games to go in the season. It was a fun one. AJ Switek, Bobby Hessling on the call. York Sports Network, your place for all York sports. We'll be back for the next one tomorrow night when the York Dukes take on the Glenbard West Hilltoppers. Thank you so much for watching. AJ Switek, Bobby Hessling, signing off.